Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Versatility Podcast. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 11th. It is Saturday afternoon, and it is exactly 4 p.m. So we got half an hour to make my picks for Wild Card Weekend because the first game starts in half an hour. So we're gonna start off with football. Pretty interesting way to start the episode since I don't usually start talking directly about football, but we're not even gonna no introduction. We're going straight to business. So yeah, we're gonna talk about football to lead things off in the episode. I'm gonna quickly recap Week 18. It's already been a week already, so at this point, y'all don't really give a fuck too much about it at this point. But yes, so these are the matchups. Week 18 already occurred. The Ravens stomped the Browns. MVP solidified for Lamar Jackson? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Well, we'll have to wait and see. By the NFL honors, a couple of days before the Super Bowl, we'll see if Lamar will take his third MVP home. But he might have that chance to solidify it. But Josh Allen, I don't know. I'm not too sure just yet. But they make easy light work of the Cleveland Browns. They're done. The Bengals, they beat the Steelers 19-17 to keep their playoff hopes alive, but you will see that didn't end very well, unfortunately for them. Then we got the Eagles on Sunday beating the Giants 20-13. Tanner McKee was that quarterback. We were resting most of our starters. Saquon didn't play, so he couldn't break that record, unfortunately, for the most rushing yards in a season. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that, but still had a good chance to do it if he did play in this game. But still, Jalen Hurts was out in this one. Got the win, but it's a meaningless ass game. We're solidified as the 2 seed in the playoffs in the NFC at the moment. So of course, we're the highest seed in the wild card coming out of the NFC. So that was that. Then we got the Broncos absolutely whooping that ass against the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-0. So that means goodbye Cincinnati, goodbye Miami. The Broncos get that final wild card spot as I expected. I had the Dolphins beating the Jets, and then I had the Bengals winning against the Steelers, and I had the Broncos losing to the Chiefs. So I had only 2 results, or one of them was right, the other 2 were wrong. But in my mind, I'm just like, let me just say it to think that this is what's really going to happen. But this is exactly what I expected. I just didn't really want to call it out. Yeah, I did say the Chiefs were going to beat the Broncos, but after I said that, I'm like, that's not going to fucking happen. And guess what? That didn't happen. Congrats to the Broncos. They got the 7 seats. Of course, the Dolphins and the Bengals, they won't make the playoffs. Shit, the Dolphins couldn't even beat the fucking Jets. They couldn't even beat the fucking Jets in the last week of the season with their playoff hopes on the line. So they couldn't even win their game to at least make things a little bit more interesting. The Bengals at least finished off strong. The Dolphins, you see why I took the poster off. I took the poster off. LeBron is on my wall, not the Dolphins. And to be honest, that's greatness on my wall. What has the Dolphins done? This is not the 70s. This is not the 70s anymore. There is no greatness with this franchise. It's just pure mediocrity. And at this point, borderline, what are we getting at this point? Tyreek Hill wants out. All right, bye. Scram. Now everyone wants to fucking leave Miami. First it was Jimmy Butler. He's going to leave at some point. Tyreek Hill, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I really don't know what else to say. I'm tired of this fucking team for now. No playoffs as expected. And I'm excited for next season, but that's only because it's a new season and you never know what could happen at the start or at the end of the season. So the Jets, bullshit-ass team, disgruntled, terrible fucking team, but they got the win to end the season strong, I guess. Aaron Rodgers decided to fucking have a great game. 4 touchdowns, 274 yards. Yeah. He got his 500th career passing touchdown, so shout out to Aaron Rodgers for that, but he's out of New York at some point too. Like, he's not going to be playing in New York next year. Like, where is he going to be playing? Is this his last game ever? This might be Aaron Rodgers' last game ever, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? We will have to wait and see on that. Broncos, I mean, they got the job done. Obviously, the Chiefs, they were resting their starters, so there was no Mahomes, no Chris Jones, Kelsey, Pacheco. None of them boys were playing. So none of them were playing. So of course, it was a pretty easy dub for the Broncos there. The Panthers win a meaningless game. However, 44-38 win over the Falcons. to eliminate the Falcons. The Falcons had to win this game so they can keep on their playoff chances alive. They needed to win this game, and they needed the Bucks to lose. Neither happened. So, of course, the Buccaneers ended up taking the division. The Panthers, they end their season at a 5-12 record. However, not a great record, but my goodness, there's hope in this franchise. Bryce Young has stepped up in the second half of this season. Ever since he got benched, it was a great move because he basically was just at the lowest of low at that point, getting Andy Dalton to play a couple games and then him being recalled as the starter. It helped him gain his confidence back, and he's smiling out there having fun. Even though there's not much to play for right now in Carolina, slowly but surely this might be building something for Carolina in the future. I'm not saying they're a playoff team next year, or I'm not really going to call anything for that, but I think we should be very cautious at the Panthers next year. Even if they are just in contention and they don't end up making it, I think it's just still more progress than what they did last year. Because remember, last year was a absolute fucking disaster. I mean, they would be the worst team in the NFL last year and this year. They had like a 2-14, 2-15 record, I think. I believe so. Or did they win 3 games? They won 2 or 3 games. All the worst teams have won 3 or 4 games, so they probably would have still stuck being the worst team in the NFL this season, just like they were last year. So, at least the Panthers ended up on a strong note. Bryce Young had 5 touchdown passes. Like, dude, man, congrats to Bryce, man. I'm glad that he's gaining his confidence, and can we relax with the label, with the bust label? Like, give this motherfucker some time. If he has like fucking 2 more seasons of just pure dog shit, then yes, we can establish that. But right now, got his confidence back, and it looks like he's promising, and he looks like he's going to be the franchise quarterback for this Panthers team. So that's what they're hoping for. Michael Penix Jr. had a pretty decent game, but you had to rely on a fucking rookie quarterback who's only played 3 games this year for the division title, for a playoff spot. Like, dude, it was too much. It was too much, man. And you were able to make it a close game, but still, it was too much. Falcons disappointed once again, not making it to the postseason. Commanders beat the Cowboys. The Commanders, they're in the postseason. They solidified their playoff berth. Even though they did it a week before when they beat the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys, I guess you're winning the Super Bowl next year. Yeah. You're winning the Super Bowl next year. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the 2026 Super Bowl. It doesn't fucking matter if Mike McCarthy stays. It doesn't matter that this fucking defense started to play good in the second half of the year, specifically like the last 2 or 3 games. It doesn't matter everything that happened before those first 14 games where they sucked dick. Now they have faith that they're going to be amazing next year. I am so happy for the Cowboys. I am super excited that they're going to be in the Super Bowl next year in fucking planet Genus, in planet fucking Jupiter. We'll take that shit to another. We're taking that dumb, idiotic. We're taking that stupidity to another fucking planet. We are not dragging this to planet Earth again. So I hope you understand that that's not going to fucking happen. And that I could not be more sarcastic, because holy shit, the Cowboys have a lot to figure out for themselves, especially starting with from the base of the team in Jerry Jones. Can that man shut the fuck up for once? My goodness, I'm not even a fan, and I'm even tired of his bullshit. My goodness. Figure this team out, buddy. Does it look like it's going to happen that way, though? Whatever. Good for me. Be ass for the next 10 years. Go ahead. Shit. That won't bother me. Fuck it. Have another 7-10 season next year. I will be down for it. Once again. I don't even have to worry about y'all in the playoffs. Perfect. Good enough. Good enough for me. It's Eagles Commanders' turn now. Get the fucking Cowboys out the way now. Bears beat the Packers 24-22. Yeah, weird game for the Packers. Jordan Love didn't play the whole game. It was Malik Willis, and then eventually they kind of put in Jordan Love to kind of bring this game back to try to get the win here. They got the 7th seed here because of the loss of the Chicago Bears, and the Bears, this is their first road win of the entire season, and this was their first win since the week before their bye week. So all the way back in week 6. This is their first win since then. And congrats. But y'all still need to figure things out because y'all still fucking suck. The Texans limping into the playoffs, but they got to win against the dog shit Tennessee Titans team, 23-14. The Titans get the first pick in the draft. I'll show you guys the draft order in a second, but yeah, the Titans, they get the win there. The Jags and the Colts, they go to overtime in the most pointless game ever. Neither of these teams matter. Let's get the fucking move on. The Patriots beat the Bills, but the Bills, Josh Allen had one snap, whatever. Joe Milton had a decent game. Shout out to the Patriots, but whatever. Gerard Mayo got fired after this because, again, they could have had solidified themselves a top 5 draft pick, but they just hurt their draft stock even more. Boom. You got the win against Buffalo. The Buccaneers, they beat the Saints 27-19. The Buccaneers, they clinched the NFC South, and Mike Evans, on the last play of the game with 36 seconds left, Mike Evans got the 1,000 yard mark for the 11th straight year. Mike Evans, Mr. Consistent himself, he got the record, man. Shout out to Mike Evans. The incentive money that he got from this is phenomenal, and great that they were able to give him that incentive when it was already dead. They could have just wasted time on the clock. They already would have won the game. It was an unnecessary decision or an unnecessary play call. But of course, they wanted that man who was one of the heart and souls of that Buccaneers team for sure, has been there for so long. Again, 11 years, and has been very consistent all year long. And even though he's had some injuries, he's still been able to pass that mark every single year. That's impressive stuff for the Buccaneers. And I mean, we'll see what they can do in the playoffs. We'll see what they can do on the wild card weekend. They play tomorrow night. On Sunday night, I think they play Sunday Night Football against we'll look at the matchups in a second, but still. Yes, congrats to the Buccaneers and the Saints. Bye-bye. Chargers, they beat the Raiders 34-20, secure the 5th seed in the AFC. The Raiders, they fire. They're going to get a top 7 pick, I guess. We'll look at the draft order again after this, and then we'll look at the playoffs. Yeah, Raiders, bye. Seahawks beat the Rams 30-25. Interesting game. Jimmy Garoppolo had a decent performance, 2 touchdowns, 334 yards. But Geno Smith had 4 passing touchdowns. So shout out to Geno Smith. Had to put a good effort to end the season strong at 10-7 with the same record with the team that won the division with the Rams. However, of course, it was a little too late because the Rams, obviously, they won the week prior, and that's how they were able to clinch the division as well. And also another team that they had to lose that eliminated Seattle from the playoff hopes. But still close enough. Just fell short to make the postseason, unfortunately. And they were actually 7-1 on the road. That's actually very impressive for the Seahawks. Most of their wins were on the road, and that says a lot about this team at home. I mean, my goodness, they only won 3 games at home. It says a lot about them. Shit, fucking wow. Then we got the Cardinals beating the 49ers 47-24. Kyler Murray had 4 passing touchdowns. He decided to have a fucking a ball. He decided to have a fucking hell of a game. And, well, yeah, I mean, no playoff chances. They were eliminated weeks ago before this one. The Niners, the same thing. But, I mean, they were done since, like, fucking week 10, it feels like. So, yeah, pointless game. None of this game didn't matter for anything. But, you know, good ending for the Cardinals to end their season at an 8-9 record. And the Niners, 6-11. After the season, you guys made the Super Bowl and won the NFC champions and were the NFC champions. Now, next season, you're just going to have to pray to God that you guys stay healthy and certain players are back on the peak because Debo got hurt and back, but he wasn't even being productive when he was on the field. Like, that man was dog shit this year. I mean, he was dog shit. But good for me because I don't have to deal with the Cowboys or the 49ers in the playoffs. Thank goodness. Thank the Lord. I could enjoy a postseason without either of those 2 teams. To make the path a little bit easier for the Eagles. Not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, because shit, we got to play the fucking Packers. They're the 7th seed. And what did they do last year? Oh, yeah, right. They just happened to take down the 2 seed in the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not saying we are the Dallas Cowboys, but we are an NFC East team. So it's too close for comfort. So we better beat Green Bay tomorrow because it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a good one, though. I think it's going to be at 4:30. So around 24 hours from now, the game will start. But anyway, that will be that. And then finally, the last game of the regular season, Sunday Night Football. This was for the division, the NFC North division, and for the first round bye. As you can see, it wasn't that close of a game. The Lions destroyed the Minnesota Vikings 31-9. They win the NFC North. They get the number 1 seed. They get the first round bye. And the Vikings, they get the 5 seed. So, yeah, they will be playing against the Rams wildcard weekend. I believe that will be Monday Night Football. Yeah, that'll be Monday Night Football. And the Lions, of course, they don't play this week. They play the following week since they get the first round bye. And yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs had himself a day. He had 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. So he had a total of 4 touchdowns in this game. Phenomenal stuff. Jared Goff didn't play his greatest game because he just fucking had Jahmyr Gibbs just taking over. Jahmyr Gibbs had a phenomenal game. Sam Darnold sucked balls in this game. He was not good at all. Not good at all. But, I mean, he's going to have to prove himself. He has a lot of pressure coming into Monday Night Football because if he is not worthy of putting up a decent performance or at least get a win with mediocre stats on Monday Night Football against the Rams team that, yes, they're a very strong team, but with that record that they were able to produce in the regular season, looks like the Vikings look like they're an unstoppable team coming into the postseason, even with the loss to the Lions and, getting swept by them. It's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a tough one for the Vikings. We'll go over the matchup in a second, but that is Week 18. That is a wrap of the regular season, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are. We're going to look at the draft order real quick just to show you guys exactly what we're looking at right now. So as you can see, the Titans have the first pick in the draft. The Browns have the number 2 pick. The Giants, the 3 pick. The Patriots, the 4 pick. The Jaguars, the 5 pick. The Raiders get the 6th pick. The 7th pick goes to the Jets. The 8th goes to the Panthers. The 9th get the Saints. And the Bears, they get a top 10 pick. They actually get the number 10th. The Niners at 11. The Cowboys at 12. We get the 13th pick. Wow, we fucking fell off. 14th go to Indianapolis. 15 to Atlanta. 16 to Arizona. 17 to Cincinnati. And 18 to Seattle. Of course, the rest of the playoffs will decide the rest of the order for round 1 in the draft. And I mean, we'll see the rest of the, from round 2 to round 7, the rest of the draft coming in. But the Tennessee Titans, I'll talk about the draft in fucking February or March. No one gives a shit about the draft right now. It's playoff time. I just wanted to show you guys the order of the draft. In the meantime, I'll talk a little bit about the draft later on. Right now, we don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Actually, I forgot to add that in there. NFL draft order look. There we go. So let me just take that out there. All right. I already mentioned a couple of head coaches that got fired. I mentioned that Antonio Pierce from the Raiders, head coach, he got fired. The head coach for did Raheem Morris get fired? Let me see. Did he get fired or not? I believe he did not get fired. They fired the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, but not the head coach. Okay, Jimmy Lake. And that was actually just pretty recently. I think did they fire Dennis Allen, the coach for the Saints? Or yeah, I mean it was, or no. I mean he been fired. No, it was the other coach that took over, Rizzi, right? Rizzi was the interim head coach for the Saints, but I don't know if he got fired. I don't think just anything of that yet. Other coaches got fired as well, but those are the ones that kind of stand out a little bit. So just to kind of briefly talk about them, NFL coaches fired, hot seat. I think let me just kind of look at which ones already got fired here in 2025. They fired Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, they fired him. The former head coach of the Jags, they also fired him. They fired Eberflus. We been knew that. The Patriots, they fired Jared Mayo. They fired Dennis Allen, but that was months ago. The Jets, yes, we already know. Oh yes, the Titans, they released and fired the GM Rand Cartman. We're gonna just call him Cartman, I guess. They fired him as well, unfortunately. But still, it is a business after all. So we gotta see for what it is right now. Anywho, let's get to wildcard weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Where's the? It's not Pick'em. Oh, let me show you guys the Pick'em before we get here. Before we get here, this is my final season stand. My final season picks here. I ended up going 118 and 83, a 94.4 winning percentage, 1,880 points. So the teams that fucked me up, fuck you Packers, fuck you Bills, fuck you Falcons, fuck you Chiefs, fuck you Dolphins, extra fuck you to the Dolphins, a double extra fuck you to the Dolphins, a triple extra fuck you to the Dolphins, a quadruple, double, triple, quadruple, quintuple double fuck you to the Dolphins. But hey, we are here. That's how it ended. 70,000, almost 71,000th rank on Pick'em. I could have done a little bit better, but still almost 200 correct picks. I'll take it. Almost 200. We did pretty good. In fantasy, I don't even want to talk about it. I'll show you guys. I lost my last week in fantasy. It didn't even fucking matter. I got 6th place. I went 6-8. Fitting, because I was 6th place of 8 teams. I was the 6th best team I was only better than 2 other teams this entire fantasy football season. This was a down year for me in fantasy. Absolutely. Next season, I will be back stronger, because holy shit, that was an absolute disaster. I just, this also win totals. I went 20-12 here as well. So I got the Ravens, Chiefs, Packers, Eagles right. The Falcons, Bills. Damn, I had the Bills under 10.5 too. Fuck. The Cardinals, I thought they were going to be a lot worse, and they ended up, still not make the postseason, but the Panthers, they actually got the spread, winning that game. That last win against the Falcons. Wow, they actually covered it. That's pretty good. The Bears absolutely disappointed me. The Bengals for sure. Colts, Jags, Dolphins, Vikings, absolutely. This one was a bad. Everybody probably would have picked this one, but still 14 wins for me, yeah. Patriots, Saints, Giants, Steelers, Titans, Broncos. Damn, I got the entire AFC West pretty good, because all these teams got it right. And then the Seahawks, I got it right. Browns, I got it wrong. Cowboys, Buccaneers, Commanders, Lions, Rams, I got it right. And then the Jets, Niners, I got it wrong as well. But whatever. It is what it is. 20-12 there. Now, let's finally make my picks. Where is it here? Is it here? I think it is here. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be making our final... Actually, wait. No, fuck it. I'll do it here. I was gonna use another website, but you know what? We'll just do it here. We'll just do it here better. Fuck it. We'll just do it here. Let's look at the preview for the first game of the AFC wildcard game. The first game that's gonna be kicking off in literally like 10 minutes from now. Let's look at it real quick. The Chargers versus the Texans. So this is the 4 seed Texans going up against the 5th seed Chargers. The game is going to start in a little bit from now. Texans at home, they clinched the division, but the Texans right now have not looked the best entering the postseason. They've looked a little, they look a little rough at the moment. A lot of injuries at the moment, just a lot of things not going right for the Houston Texans at the moment. So they got to figure things out against the Chargers, who ended off their season pretty strong. New head coach Jim Harbaugh has been phenomenal. Changing this team around. Herbert has had a pretty good season. Haven't had crazy mind-blowing numbers, besides maybe he having like the least amount of interceptions. I think he's only threw like 3 picks this entire season, but still has been very, very good. And truly has been, a game changer for this team. We just got to find weapons. And Ladd McConkey, I think that's how you say it, has been phenomenal. Rookie, 2nd round receiver. So he's been great. The defense has been phenomenal as well. They've been in a lights out defense. The Chargers right now look like the better team. With the Texans offense being depleted with injuries, with Stephon Diggs out, Tank Dell's out, CJ Stroud not playing his best this season. He's just kind of had a sophomore slump of a year. Could still put up production and put some decent numbers. He hasn't had many bad games. I don't think he's had like really bad games. He's had definitely some games where he was very quiet, didn't get much done. But the fact that he was an absolute lights out, quarterback in his rookie year, and obviously now entering this season, it's definitely been a big step down. You could see that clearly he's missing some guys. I want to pick the Texans here because they're at home, and I do believe in CJ Stroud for sure. But this season was definitely not giving me a season where they just feel they're just lumping into the playoffs. I don't really have much confidence in them, so I'm gonna pick the Chargers. The Chargers, they always love to disappoint. Oh, the Chargers, do they love to disappoint? Oh my goodness, do they love to do that? So they better fucking figure it out and not let me down. Chargers, y'all on the road, but you guys are a pretty good team, decent team on the road. So I think you guys can get it done. Hopefully, we'll see. Figure it out, buddy. Figure it out, LA. Don't fucking make me lose this fucking game once again. I just can't do this. I just can't fucking do this. All right, next, let's look at the next game here. We got the Seahawks. I'm kidding. We got the Steelers going up against the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be at 8 p.m. tonight on Prime Video. This is going to be what matchup is this? The 3 and the 6 seed. So the Ravens are the 3 seed and the Steelers are the 6 seed. They are obviously, they're officially the 2 teams representing in the AFC North. This is going to be, again, a divisional battle in the wild card round. The Ravens entering this season, again, high expectations, Super Bowl contenders. They've played like that all season long. Lamar is definitely have enough to back himself up to win another MVP, back-to-back MVPs this year. We'll see if Lamar can take it. The Steelers, however, no momentum entering the playoffs as they've been losing games. They've lost 4 straight games entering wildcard weekend, including a loss to the Ravens already a couple weeks ago. So, huge shift for the Steelers. We've seen this story again with Pittsburgh. They're a good enough team to make the postseason, whether they're slumping or they're thriving to the playoffs, and then they just get blown out or they just lose in the wild card. I mean, they have not won a postseason game since 2016. And since 2016, they have not won a playoff game. I believe it was the last game they won was against the Chiefs, I think, all the way like in 2016. Again, that was fucking before Mahomes was even drafted. So that was when they had Alex Smith at quarterback for the Chiefs at that point. So yeah, it's been a while for a team that always has winning seasons, and for a team that is always usually in the playoffs. They haven't won a playoff game in 9 years. In 9 years. So the Steelers have to figure something out. But there's more pressure on Baltimore. This fucking team is good enough to win the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson has not had a great reputation in the playoffs. This man loves to ball out in the regular season, and we're all fans. But then once it's playoff time, this man is cooking up some absolute dog shit numbers. Man's not playing great. And how many times do I have to give him the pass? How many times do I have to give him the pass? Because he's a superstar, he's electric to well. Okay, but you gotta break through. You have to break through in the postseason, or else you're gonna be what, a 3-time MVP with no Super Bowls, or not even with a Super Bowl appearance up until now. Mahomes is thriving. I mean, he is thriving. He's at a point where you can't even catch up to him when it comes to titles and the amount of success. The success is there with the MVPs, but can you prove that you can win in the postseason? You have to, and not just one postseason win. Multiple. You need to make a run. You got to make a statement. Baltimore, they cannot lose this game. I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens. I want the Ravens to win. I hope the Ravens win, and I believe that they will win. But they can't do this. They can't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, which, again, it's a divisional game. It goes back and forth. You never know who can take it out of here. But with the Steelers looking like a hot mess right now, and the Ravens having to win this game under no circumstances, it's like Baltimore needs to put up a show. They need to put on a show for absolutely. So they just can't make more excuses. They cannot. All right, but that is that for that matchup. Next, we got the Bills, who are the 2 seed. They're going to be going up against the Denver Broncos, who are the 7 seed. So the Broncos at Bills. This is for the first game tomorrow at 1 p.m. In Buffalo. I'm going to pick the Bills here. They have not lost a home game in the regular season. They were 8-0 at home. Do I think they're going to lose to the Broncos in the wild card round? Again, this is a similar situation. The Bills have to win this game. There is a lot of pressure on Josh Allen to have not only playoff performances, because he's definitely had many great playoff performances, but definitely is at this point thirsty, desperate, hungry for a Super Bowl run. And they've fallen close to the Chiefs, Ravens, to the Bengals, to other elite teams in the AFC. But can they prevail and make the Super Bowl? This is another team that is trying to itch Kansas City out the way so that they can prove themselves, hey, we know that the Chiefs are fucking dominating this damn conference every single year, and they're in the Super Bowl every fucking year, it feels like. But we have to make a point. We got to stop Mahomes one of these seasons. Hey, Joe Burrow did it one season. Didn't win the Super Bowl, but still proved his point. He beat Mahomes in the playoffs, and only two quarterbacks, only two teams have ever done it. Or technically three, because the Patriots did it, Buccaneers did it, and the Bengals. So again, Mahomes only has 3 playoff losses in his career. You've had 3 playoff losses in general, more than that. You lost 2 to Kansas City. You lost 1 to Baltimore. And you lost another one to, I forgot the other, and Cincinnati. You lost to Cincinnati as well. So the Bengals, not the Bengals. The Bills, they need to prevail. They need to win this game. Absolutely. There's no exceptions. Fuck out of here. Fuck! You serious? I can't make my picks now? Ah, damn it. We're going to have to use the backup. Come on. That's some bullshit. Why do I have to do this, Matt? You know what? This is dumb. This is freaking dumb. I think it's this one, right? Okay, there we go. Yeah, fuck it. We're just going to have to do it like this. Wow, thank God we had a backup here. So I had the Chargers, I had the Ravens, and I have the Bills. Okay, we're going to just do it like this because the game is about to start. I thought it was going to close for the Chargers-Texans game, but no, the entire bracket is fucked over since I couldn't make my picks earlier. Whatever, we have this. We'll use the backup here for this. I kind of wanted to show you guys more in depth, but who cares? Whatever, we'll just do it like this. Let me actually type it here, actually. Pro Football, just make it easier for it. Pro Football Talk, is this one? No, profootball.com picks. Is that what it's called? No, shit. What's it called? Profootballnetwork.com. That's what it's called. Profootballnetwork.com. Okay. There we go. Playoff predictor. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Chargers, Bills, Ravens. Okay. So those are the matchups in the AFC for the divisional round. Perfect. Okay. Let me just see that we're still here cooking. Okay, perfect. Now, in the NFC side of things, here we got the let's go with the it's already in order. It's actually already in order. Never mind. Packers at Eagles. I'm going with the Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know me. That's not going to take much. I got the Eagles winning. Shout out to Jordan Love. Shout out to the Packers. They've actually been a good team this year. Once again, getting that 7th seed. They're the underdog here, but I'm a little scared. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts will be playing tomorrow. Saquon will be playing, so we're going to have all their guys back. Jalen Hurts has missed the last couple games with an injury, but also, he didn't have to play last week too because obviously they were resting their starters. But still, the Eagles, path to the Super Bowl. You got to beat the fucking 7th seed Packers. No other choice. There's no other options here. So Eagles, please get the dub, please. Next, we got the Commanders versus the Buccaneers. This is going to be Sunday Night Football tomorrow night in Tampa Bay. This is going to be interesting. Baker Mayfield versus Jaden Daniels. This was the last time they had a matchup in the wild card. I think that was the Bucs Commanders game in 2020, right? I think that was the Super Bowl year where the Bucs won it with Brady. That was a Taylor Heineke game. Remember when Taylor Heineke had a really good game against the Buccaneers? That was the last time they had faced off each other in the playoffs and in the wild card round as well. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be this time in Tampa because last time I believe it was in Washington last time. Yeah, I think it was. And I'm honestly, I don't know. I really have a lot of trust in Jaden Daniels. I feel like he could have a fucking great game against his Bucks defense. However, it's gonna be tough. The playoffs and the regular season it's a different story. It's a different chapter. CJ Stroud was able to have a great, successful, game against the Browns last year in the wild card round and was able to get a playoff win. I feel like Jaden Daniels, I mean, arguably has had a neck to neck season like CJ Stroud comparing to last year. Shit, I mean, it's more than welcome to fuck it at this point. I could see him definitely beating the Buccaneers here. But Baker Mayfield has been pretty good this season as well. He's been pretty consistent for the Bucks, and again, like this team, even though it took them to the last day of the season to clinch a division spot and a postseason spot, they fought all season long, and it looked like their season could have been depleted because of all those injuries they have on the defense and on the offense, especially no Chris Godwin, and at some point they didn't have Mike Evans for about a month. But they still look like a top team to beat, man, coming out of the NFC. But I feel like they're going to disappoint. I just have a little bit of trust on the Commanders right now. We'll have to wait and see. So that means that matchup, that Eagles. Well, I think it will have to be Lions Commanders then if they're the lowest remaining seed. If I do pick the Rams here, in which I think I'm gonna pick the Commanders here. Oh shit, there's the kickoff. The game just started, ladies and gentlemen. Chargers versus Texans. The game just kicked off just right now. But anywho, I'm going to go with the Commanders here over the Buccaneers. Monday Night Football, prove it to me. Prove it to me. I'm going to go with the LA Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. The Vikings have had a good season. I doubted them before the season started, and I was told, hey, I was proven wrong. Absolutely. I was absolutely proven wrong. Shout out to the Vikings. They proved me wrong. They were better than what I anticipated and what a lot of people else anticipated. But last week against the Lions, they did not show up. They have another chance on Monday Night Football against the Rams, which is a team that is sneaky good. But at this point, it shouldn't even be like that because we've seen this Rams team prevail. We've had good playoff runs. They won the Super Bowl 3-4 years ago. This is a team that they have the talent, and they've been building some good wins, to end the season. Yes, they lost to Seattle, but Matthew Stafford wasn't playing, and a bunch of their starters wasn't playing as well. I think there were some starters, but not all of them at least. Just getting a couple reps. Still, I think the Rams coming into the playoffs, they have something to go for them. They won the division. They're a division champ. They have a lot to go for them. I feel like they also disappoint if they lose to the Vikings, even though the Vikings have the way better record. It's just a matter of the division. The Lions just ended up taking you guys. I call it unfair for what it is, but still, that's just how the game works. That's just how the game ended up going. Also, this game is not going to be in LA because, I'm going to talk about it later on in the episode because I have it here. But yeah, they had to force this game out of LA. It's actually to be playing in Arizona at the State Farm Stadium for a reason I'll get to. Again, we'll go over it in a second, but still, or go over it later on in the episode. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Rams here. Fuck it. So those are the matchups for the division round. In the AFC, back to the AFC, we got the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Give me Kansas City. I think the Chiefs are an absolute lock to make the AFC Championship once again. I don't see the Chiefs losing in the divisional round. We'll see if I do pick them to make the Super Bowl, but they're definitely making the AFC title game. Without a doubt. I would put money on it. Maybe. At this point, I should. $30 or something. I don't know. And if I fucking end up being wrong, I'm never watching football again. Either or. I'm picking the Chiefs. Then we got this matchup. And oh boy. Do everybody want to see this matchup. The battle of the two MVPs. The two front runners of MVPs this season. We got the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Wow. This is going to be a battle. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, who wins this game will move on to the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And they'll have another date against them, another chance to try to take Kansas City down. However, one of the teams are going to disappoint because they're not going to make it to the AFC title game. This is going to be really tough for me. It's hard because I love Lamar. I love this Ravens team, and I would love to see them win a Super Bowl. Definitely before the Bills, because again, I'm still a Dolphins fan. I don't hate the Bills, but I do have a stain. I don't like them. I have nothing against them, but I just don't like them. And that's a fair enough point for me to make. However, they're at home. I feel a little bit more confident in Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson in the postseason. Because even if they do beat the Steelers, right? And Lamar, depending on how Lamar plays, if it's phenomenal, and if Josh Allen this is going to have to go based on the performances of each quarterback in that first round. Whoever I feel like has had that better first round matchup, who played a little bit better, maybe that might follow along in this game. Again, they could, completely do a 180 and just, play like ass, and then they win the game, and then they play amazing, and then they still lose the game. You never know how it goes, but I really don't know, man. And again, this could be also the deciding factor for MVP. This is a playoff game. The playoffs don't insinuate MVP conversation, but they might do it. Fuck it. They just might decide who wins the MVP if these two face off, and whoever wins it, fuck it. You're going to the AFC title game, and you're probably going to win the MVP in a couple weeks from now too. Who knows? They say that it's only regular season, but if a matchup like this matters in the postseason, like it does, they're probably going to put that factor into, the voters are probably going to have to put that aside as well and say, hey, you know what? Let's make this work. Let's make this matter as well. I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills. I love Lamar, but I need to see it first, Lamar. I don't want to keep picking you, and I need to see you prove it first. I need you to you are well enough to win a Super Bowl right now, but right now I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable in the Buffalo Bills. They're at home. Josh Allen has, again, been arguably better than you, maybe not stats-wise, but in other ways as well. I thought this Bills team wasn't going to be this good this season. With all the weapons that Josh Allen doesn't have now, he's been making it work, and he's been playing phenomenal football. And I can't take that away. I cannot take that away. So I think Buffalo's going to edge this one, and they're going to make it to the title game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Anywho, let's make it to the NFC side. We got the Commanders going up against the Lions. Commanders, you had a great season, but we're going to have to go with Detroit here. They can't lose this fucking game. They're going to lose to a rookie quarterback who won already a playoff game, but still. Number one, team in the entire country, in the entire league, having all these playoff Super Bowl aspirations. Y'all can't lose to the fucking Commanders. Are you serious? They should be a lock, hopefully, to the NFC Championship game. So the Lions will see what they do. Sorry, Rams, but you know how I want to see it as well. I'm going to go with the Eagles here. Of course, I think they're going to be good enough to beat the Rams. The Rams, I think it's going to be a close game too. These Eagles games, they might give me fucking heart attacks every week by week because they might just be close. I don't know if I really see the Eagles putting up dominant performances in any of these games. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of preparing myself these close games. I'm not preparing myself any fucking blowouts and by any means necessary. So, yeah. So those are my final four teams. The AFC Championship game, the Bills versus the Chiefs. Who is making it to the AFC side for the Super Bowl? Who's going to win the AFC conference? Is it going to be the Bills? Is it going to be the Chiefs? I just want to put the Chiefs because they're just probably going to fucking do it. But I don't want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl, man. I would oh man, this is a lose-lose for me, bro. I don't want to see any of these teams in the don't get me wrong, I like the Chiefs still. I'm not a fucking hater of them or whatever. I know it kind of seemed like that last year. I picked them to lose in the AFC Conference Championship game, and they ended up winning again the Super Bowl. No surprise there. I would have said the same thing, but I wanted to be a little bit different. Do I just be different? Like, do I think they're good enough to match? The Bills already beat them in the regular season. But the Chiefs beat them in the postseason. When it matters the most, the Chiefs always get them. Is it going to be the same thing again? Josh Allen, the Bills, you're going to have to prove me wrong. Look, the thing is, I'm a big fan of being proven wrong, but also I need to see the proof. I need to see the evidence. I need to see Lamar Jackson step the fuck up so that I could trust this man to win a Super Bowl. But before he could do that, he needs to beat who? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, he did that. Now he needs to beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. If he could do that, of course I think this man could win a Super Bowl. But if he hasn't shown anything yet for me, personally, I can't pick him right now. This is what I feel is going to happen. And I'm going off just by instinct of what I've seen, because I'm only creating things of what I've seen. I haven't seen Lamar play phenomenal in the postseason yet. I have seen Josh Allen had some great games. But guess what? I haven't seen Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes when it mattered the most either. So that's why I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm just being logical. I'm just going off by what we've already seen before. Yes, of course I won't be surprised if the Ravens beat the Bills. Yes, of course I won't be surprised if the Bills beat the Chiefs when it actually matters. It's not a surprise. It's just a matter of fact that they can actually fucking execute and just not stick to the same fucking formula. To be honest, I don't even want this to go this way. I want Lamar to be in the fucking Super Bowl. But he has to prove it to me first. So if you could prove it to me, then I could be delusional as much as I want and say, fuck it, I will pick you to win the Super Bowl this year, next year, and whatever. But the Chiefs, even though they haven't looked impressive all year long, guess what? They're still the best team in the NFL. They have the best quarterback. They have the best head coach. They have the best everything. They have the best defense. They're one of the best defense. Like, this is unfair, man. And yet again, we're going to be, the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. Oh, great. They're going to 3-peat. I know. But Lamar has to prove he can beat Josh Allen or an elite team in the AFC. And Josh Allen has to prove himself that he can beat Mahomes when it matters the most. If that could happen, yes, the Chiefs will be taken down. But right now, I don't see that. Now, the NFC Championship game, this is going to be tough. I want to see this matchup. Absolutely. Eagles versus Lions needs to happen. I need to see this game. If the Eagles could win this game, what's the matchup wise? We haven't seen them play this season, so the matchup is not there, for us. We don't know what to expect here. But again, both teams have elite quarterbacks. Maybe the borderline elite quarterbacks with Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff. Both have top-tier defenses, and the offenses also has been phenomenal. The run game is great. You could take it over with the Eagles with Saquon, but, Jamar Gibbs has been phenomenal as well. He's been basically just below Saquon and Derrick Henry this season. And David Montgomery, even though he's missed some time, he's also up there as one of the elite running backs with fucking Jamar Gibbs on the fucking same spot. So it's going to be tough, and it's going to be in Detroit. The Lions, man, if they could actually pull this off and beat the Eagles in the playoffs, I trust the Eagles a little bit more in the postseason than the Lions, just because the Lions, they did blow that lead in the second half to that 49ers game, again in the NFC Championship game. I'm not saying they're going to blow a huge lead, but just off of that, it kind of concerns me. And again, if I'm being non-biased, but also kind of half biased, because again, I'm picking the Eagles to make it to the Super Bowl, then I have to see the Lions prove me otherwise. This is basically a prove me wrong kind of bracket. I kind of want to see some, misses here. I think there will be misses here. I don't think I'm going to go 100% on this bracket. I want to see some teams take the next level and fucking actually prove people wrong. But right now, I'm just kind of sticking to a formula. So we're going to have a rematch of Super Bowl 56. The Chiefs versus the Eagles. This time, I want to see the Eagles win it. And this one's a little bit different because, well, didn't the Eagles lose to the Chiefs? Yes, they did lose to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. But I feel like they can do it this year. Yes, I'm being biased, so surprise, surprise. But I feel like there's also some exceptions. If we don't make it to the Super Bowl because Detroit beat us, I won't be surprised. And I can't be too mad either. I can't be too mad either. I'll be mad at the result, but I can't be too mad at all. As long as we don't get fucking blown out. This is simply just a prediction, you know? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. Chiefs Eagles at Super Bowl. I kind of want to see a different Super Bowl matchup. If the Eagles don't make the Super Bowl and if the Lions make it, I would hope to see like Buffalo and Detroit. I would love to see Buffalo versus Detroit. I would love to see the Ravens versus Detroit. Like I would love to see a matchup like that, man. Or Eagles versus the fucking Bills, or Eagles versus Ravens. Honestly, I really want to see Ravens versus Eagles. But this is just kind of how I think is going to go. And to be honest with you, and again, three-peating, I could have picked the Chiefs to win it too. You know what I mean? Oh, blah, 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 whatever. No. I'm just going to go with the Eagles here. Fuck it. If they're in the Super Bowl, why am I going to just pick them to lose in the Super Bowl to the same team again? Fuck that. I'm not doing that again. Hell nah. Hell the fuck nah. I'm not doing that shit. Yeah, we're going to have to make some changes around here, buddy. We're definitely going to have to make some changes around here for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, perfect. So those are my wow. We're already 50 minutes in the recording. We only have done like almost a quarter of the entire. Yeah, we're gonna have to split this episode into pieces because holy shit, wow. There's a lot to record here. Well, fuck it. Let's see what else we can get done here. So we already did the playoff picture. Perfect. Let's look at the current NBA standings. At the moment, just get a look at things right here. The Cavaliers are number one right now. What the fuck? Why am I in ESPN? I put the wrong shit. Hold on. I had to reload. Fucking TV. So the Cavs, Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Magic, Pacers, Heat, Pistons, Hawks, Bulls, Sixers, Nets, Hornets, Raptors, Wizards. That's the order right now that we're in the West. The Cavs are on a 12-game winning streak. Holy shit. The Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Mavericks, Lakers, Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings, Warriors, Spurs, Suns, Blazers, Jazz, and Pelicans. That is the standings right now currently in the NBA in the West. So yes, there has been some games that have been postponed, especially for today and the past couple of days as well. There's going to be 4 games today: Jazz versus Spurs. Jazz versus Suns, Raptors versus Pistons, Grizzlies versus Timberwolves, and Heat versus Blazers. So those are going to be the matchups for today. Those matchups that are postponed, the Rockets, the Hornets, Clippers game, the Spurs Lakers game. Again, those games I will talk about why they were postponed in the second because I kind of want to make a little segment of that specifically what happened. But those games ended up being postponed because of something. So I'll get to that in a second. Let's go college basketball real quick with the rankings at the moment, the AP 25 rankings. We got Tennessee right now, number 1. Auburn, Iowa State, Duke, Alabama, Kentucky, Marquette, Florida, UConn, Texas A&M, Kansas, Houston, Illinois, Mississippi State, Oregon, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Gonzaga, Memphis, Purdue, West Virginia, UCLA, Ole Miss, Michigan, and Utah State. So that's currently the order right now. In the AP Top 25 rankings, there were some games today, I believe. Yes, Duke beat Notre Dame, UConn beat Georgetown, Iowa State beat a close one to Texas Tech, Auburn beats South Carolina. Some big games here. Memphis winning, Kansas winning. In a low-scoring game here, Tennessee has a game at 6, Alabama, Texas A&M at 8, Oklahoma has a game at 6 as well. Gonzaga has a game. Oh shit, Cameron Dicker going for a field goal, and it is good. Yep, it is good. It is 6-0 Chargers at the moment. 6-0 Chargers. He's 2 for 2 from field goals. Interesting. No penalty. The penalties decline. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's college basketball in the men's department. Let's see the women's. women's, or it's already here. Let's see the women's real quick. In the rankings right now, it is UCLA. Wow, UCLA 16-0. Wow, 16-0. South Carolina, Notre Dame, USC, Texas, LSU, UConn, Maryland, Ohio State, Oklahoma, TCU, Kansas State, Georgia Tech, Duke, Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Alabama, UNC, Michigan State, North Dakota State, Utah, Iowa, California, and Michigan. Wow, Iowa's still kind of lingering on the top 25. They're still a decent team, 12-4. Okay, not bad at all. But wow, UCLA undefeated. South Carolina 15-1, still pretty good. Juju Watkins with USC 15-1. Notre Dame at 13-2 has been pretty good. LSU at 18-0, however, 18-0. Shit. Wow. Shout out to UCLA as well. Shout out to LSU. Shout out to Ohio State. They're also undefeated, 15-0 as well. Big teams here. Interesting to see. When does the next USC game? I kind of want to see it. I believe the next USC game is tomorrow at 8. Oh, perfect. I could probably watch that like in the computer, and then I'll watch Sunday Night Football on the TV and this and that. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So those are the rankings for the AP Top 25. Let's go over the games yesterday. Or not the multiple. There was only one game yesterday, but college football, the semifinals. Let's get straight to it, ladies and gentlemen. The scores. Let's go here. College football playoffs. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Notre Dame defeats Penn State 27-24 in the Capital One Orange Bowl to move on to the national championship. It's going to be the Fighting Irish moving on to the national championship. Wow, Penn State blew this game in that second half pretty much. I mean, they had a good first half, and then eventually Notre Dame was kind of slugging into the second half, but they eventually pulled through. Riley Leonard had a pretty good game. A decent game. It was all right. Gray House, the receiver from Notre Dame, had a big explosive play. He had 2 DBs just on the fucking ground after one. Like, it was insane. Got a touchdown there from that play. The Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame as well, was pretty decent as well. 11 carries, 45 yards and a tutty. Penn State with that fucking mid-ass quarterback, Drew Adler. Bro, he is ass. I'm sorry, Drew Adler is ass. He's not that good. I'm sorry to be a hater or whatever, to be the meat around the bush here, but like, that man's not good at all, bro. Notre Dame they're a tremendous team. They're a tremendous squad. Ever since losing to Northern Illinois, that just fueled the fucking fire. Like, absolutely. They just completely switched it up, and they used that game as momentum, and they've been able to fucking tear it up. They've been able to tear it up completely, because my goodness, it's not easy to overcome a loss like that, and then to keep going straight forward and just playing amazing. Did their own thing. Then the next game, which was yesterday night, we had the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic between Ohio State versus Texas. And Ohio State, they get the job done against Texas, 28-14. They get the job done against the Texas Longhorns. This was a close game. This was, Texas kind of going through it a little bit, but then eventually Ohio State had a huge fourth quarter. It was tied 14-14. Entering the fourth quarter. And then a costly interception for Quinn Ewers led them to get a drive. And then eventually a couple touchdown. They got a play there. Took the lead. And then eventually the Texans Longhorns, they fell all the way to the drive. Got to the 1-yard line. And then there was first and goal at the 1-yard line. They were only a touchdown away from tying the game, a touchdown and an extra point from tying the game at 21. They had like a pitch toss to the running back on second and goal, which that lost them 7 yards. So it was third and goal at the 8-yard line at that point. Eventually, another ball, the third and goal play was deflected. The ball was tipped. And then on fourth and goal, they had to convert this because it was pretty much almost game over, solidified. Jack Sawyer blasted Quinn Ewers, stripped the fumble, got the fumble recovery, and took it to the house for an interception. My goodness. Or for a fumble recovery, a touchdown, took it to the house, and they were up by 2 scores. And then eventually the Texas Longhorns got the ball back again, and then Quinn Ewers threw the interception to end the game. Yeah, what a horrific way for Texas to lose this ball game. But it was an absolute disaster. That was an absolute disaster. My fucking goodness, that was terrible. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. But yeah, not great. Not great. So that means your national championship, ladies and gentlemen, the last game of the regular season, or of the entire season for that matter, will be January, Monday, 2025, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. That is your college football playoff national championship presented by AT&T at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, the Fighting Irish versus the Buckeyes, the 7 versus the 8 seed in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is going to be a great game to watch. I'm going to be picking Notre Dame. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be picking Notre Dame, even though Ohio State, they have completely dominated this entire postseason run. That game against Michigan really scared me. But you know what? They have completely turned it around. They haven't even trailed any of the 3 postseason games that they've had in the playoffs. Like, they have not trailed at all. They've been tied a couple times, but they have not trailed at all this entire postseason run so far. We'll see how it goes in the national championship. I trust a little bit more than Notre Dame's defense a little bit, but Ohio State's offense, they've been putting up points. And that was without Jeremiah Smith, who was their freshman receiver. He didn't play good. He had 3 yards, 1 reception. Last night's game against Texas, he was very quiet, but they used the run game a lot, and they were fucking attacking Texas like it was nothing. And the offense for Texas, like, man, they were very limited. Quinn Ewers still, he was banged up a bit from the injury. I mean, it's been a couple games already, but still not at 100%, but still was able to go out there and make the difference in the game. And, of course, he made that dumb interception and, of course, that fumble that ended up giving them that 2-score lead and ended their season like that. But I like Notre Dame a little bit more now. They're on a streak. But I don't know, man. The Ohio State, they look like the best team in college football. I said it after the Oregon game, and I still keep picking against them because shit, maybe I don't want them to win. I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. I don't hate Ohio State, you know? I don't want to make it seem like I do, but I keep picking against them. I don't know, bruh. Let me just go with Notre Dame to be different. I don't know. They're going to definitely be the underdog in this game, absolutely, though, because Ohio State, they look like the better team for sure. But Notre Dame has had some really good moments in this postseason run. I feel like they could make some more magic happen here. And fuck it. Why would that be such a big thing? You know, absolutely. Of course it can happen for sure. All right, just a couple of more headline news. There's a couple I want to get into. Okay, so there's a couple here that I can kind of go over just a little bit. I don't want to pass. Let me see. Actually, no, guys. I'll do another episode tomorrow because I don't know if I'll be able to get much of this shit done now. Quick headlines, very quick headlines. There is going to be hockey at the Loandepot Park next year in 2026. It will be between the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers on January 2nd. Why? Because why the fuck did they decide to do that? In January, they decided to just put a hockey game in Miami as a part of the Discovery Winter Classic thing that the NHL does. Why in Miami, of all places, they wanted to do a fucking Winter Classic? They could have just went somewhere where it's colder, because I mean it does get cold here, but like what do you expect? Snow? Just cold weather? You're gonna get some chilly winds and that's about it. But like, what the fuck are you expecting? Don't know why they're doing this, but there's gonna be a hockey game in a baseball stadium. Shout out to the NHL for making this happen, I guess. Maybe I'll watch it. Who knows? I don't know. I guess we can go off with that. Tyreek Hill. He seems like he wants to get the fuck out of Miami. So this is my Well, his agent says otherwise. He's committed to the. You know what? I'm not even going to talk much about this. I don't know. If he leaves, he leaves. If he doesn't, whatever. Tyreek Hill, just make up your fucking mind. Like, my goodness, man. I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Anyways, I just want to say also Jimmy Carter. They had his funeral a couple days ago. He was the 39th president of the United States. Um, he served in the late 70s to the early 80s. Yes, from 1977 to 1981. He was also awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. He passed away December 29th at the age of 100. Wow, at 100 years old. He was born and died the same in his hometown. In his birth hometown, 100 years later. My goodness, man. Rest in peace to one of the presidents of the United States. At 100 years old, you saw a bunch of former presidents attending to his funeral a couple days ago. You saw fucking Obama and Trump sitting next to each other and shit, chopping it up, probably talking shit. If I was like, I like to imagine they were just talking a bunch of random shit to each other, but whatever, you know, that happened. Um, a new generation has officially begun, ladies and gentlemen. Since January 1st of this year, a new generation has been transformed. From 2025 to 2039, the generation is going to be called Generation Beta. So the group of people that are born within the span of 2025 to 2039, those kids are going to be expected to live up until the 22nd century. And obviously, that's the next generation. So, of course, Gen Z was what? Gen Z was from like 1997 to like 2009 or something like that. When's Gen Z generation years? I think it's 97 to 2012. Oh, 97 to 2012. So, of course, I'm a Gen Z. So, from 2013 to 2024 is Gen Alpha, right? Gen Alpha is 2013. Wait, what the fuck then? What, 2010 to 2024? So then, if someone's born in 2010, are they Gen Alpha or are they Gen Z? What the fuck? Are they Gen Z or are they Gen Alpha? Whatever. So my brother is Gen Alpha. He was born in 2016. I was born 2003, so of course I'm a Gen Z. And then the previous Gen Z, before Gen Z was what? Millennium, right? Millennials. That's the 80s and 90s, right? Yeah, 81 to 97. Okay. And then 81. Wait, what's before millennium? Is it before millennium years was Gen X? Gen X is 65 to 80. Okay, got it. So yeah, interesting enough, we're getting a new generation being born this year, literally, like literally to the T. There's a couple other things to talk about. Oh yeah, shout out to North Dakota State football. They win the national championship, ladies and gentlemen, for the FCS. They won it on Monday night, beating the undefeated up until that point Montana State Bobcats. They were 15-0, 15-1 now. North Dakota State, they have won the national championship for college football in the second tier, in the Division I football, the subdivision. I think it's called the subdivision. So yeah, it's not FCS 1, it's FCS 2, but still part of the Division I football. So shout out to North Dakota State. They won it. I saw the game on Monday night. Afterwards, I saw that one. So shout out to them. Justin Verlander is going to the Giants. Yes, Justin Verlander signed to a 1 year. What is it? A 1 year. What the fuck is the shit? Is a 1 year deal for $15 million. He's turning 42 years old next month. A 9-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, or 3-time Cy Young, excuse me, and an active leader in strikeouts with 3,416 ahead of Max Scherzer. Blah, 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 blah. Another arm for the Giants rotation, even though Justin Verlander is fucking 42 pretty much at this point. My goodness. Still pretty old stuff, but still going on stuff, just shit. Jared McCain, unfortunately, he is going to be out for the remainder of the season with that injury that he suffered He suffered an injury, I believe, on his whereas on his meniscus, a meniscus injury, a meniscus surgery on his knee. So he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. It was announced literally yesterday, or a couple days ago. Um, so yeah, unfortunately, his season that he played October and November was great, but unfortunately couldn't play the month of December, and of course his season is done. Shout out to Jared McCain because he had a great rookie season up until, of course, this injury. All right, now this is going to be the last topic for today's episode. Um, that's about it. There's a couple other things I want to talk about, but I'll save that for the next episode. I promise you guys, I'll do another episode tomorrow. But there's a couple other things I kind of do a little bit more research on. So fuck it, I'll just do it for tomorrow's episode. But the last thing I want to talk about is about the wildfires going on in LA. So kind of to end things off on a, on a rough note, but yes, there's a really bad situation going on right now in Los Angeles and around, um, a bunch of areas, a part of Los Angeles, in California, pretty much. Huge wildfire burns are happening through LA. Many houses and buildings and trees and whatever has been completely disintegrated, completely burnt. And just to look at some photos here, ladies and gentlemen, this does not look like, this looks like an absolute fucking nightmare. This looks like Pompeii. Do y'all want to see pictures of Pompeii? Like the fucking the volcano eruption? Look at this shit. I mean, those are volcano eruptions, but like look at what you're getting from this. This is a volcano. Yes, it's very different from actual, wildfires attacking homes and shit. But just the way that the city looks like this. There are people. This is generally, I saw these photos like a couple days ago, and I'm just looking. I'm kind of rewatching some of these photos again, and my goodness, I did not think they were this fucking bad. Because usually, so often they have, wildfires in California. The temperature. There's usually a season to prepare for the wildfires, but unfortunately, since the wildfires were pretty much delayed, because it usually happens later on in the end of the year, it would be November, December, or usually it would happen when in California it would happen when does LA wildfires begin usually? Like they usually begin like earlier. They begin in June. And it continues on to October. So obviously during the summertime, obviously, the high temperatures where it's very hot and dry, that's typically obviously when the wildfire season begins. And of course it changes, it cools down by the end. And by the time the LA wildfires kind of go down, it's because it's raining a lot more. So usually by October, November, when it's usually fall time, the rain starts getting in, and to kind of balancing it out after having the whole summer, just basically burning up, you have the fall time where it's mostly rainy and it kind of evens out the weather a bit. But then there's very cold temperatures and rain during the winter months, and it actually, this affects, the fires from happening. But I'm guessing now that the weather, it's just delayed. Like it just kept on dragging. To further and further and further. I mean, the fact that it's January and there's still wildfires, where at this point it should typically still be just rainy and just cooler weather. It's fucking winter. It is winter in LA. It is winter in the entire United States, and the entire on the Eastern Hemisphere. It's all it's winter time, whether it feels like it or not. So it's insane how climate change, man. Climate change is absolutely a real thing because I mean, there's temperatures here that are just building up, and the fires are just getting worse and worse. And again, just looking at some of these photos here, they look absolutely horrifying. I mean, I just want to say, man, pray for all of those people going through homes that have been completely burned down. Um, they have nowhere to go. People stranded in their homes in a fire. I saw a video on TikTok. There is this man and his dog just in the house, stuck with fires. The fires looked like it was going to come up to his window and was just gonna melt through the window, and it looked like it was gonna destroy the rest of the home. It was bad, man. It was bad. I'm hoping that person and the dog is safe, but of course there isn't a total death count at the moment. The last time I checked was 5, but unfortunately, obviously, it got worse. So of course, naturally, more people have passed since then. I mean, now hearing this, what, 11 dead, 13 missing. So it's only gotten worse, man. It's only gotten worse, and I don't, and it's still going on. Is it still actively as I speak right now? Is it still actually going on, man? Like, and the fucking firefighters, man, holy shit, they are not sleeping until they get these fucking fires put out to rest. I mean, there's even people that were incarcerated that were former firefighters that they get out of jail so that they could help out taking out the fires. Like, that's insane when you have to release people from prison, from from being incarcerated, take a break from being incarcerated. If you worked at the profession, and God knows whatever the fuck you did to get in jail, but if you were a firefighter in the past, or if you have any kind of experience with it, they take you out of jail just to help out the rest of the firefighters to put out the fires. I mean, that's insane, man. That is absolutely insane. And obviously, going back to all the LA events, the Lakers games, the Clippers games, the Spurs, the Kings games, they've been postponed. So this Hornets game that was supposed to happen, I think Tuesday or Wednesday night, it got postponed. This game that was supposed to be, I believe, last night, or no, tonight, excuse me, the Spurs Lakers game, it's postponed. They might just postpone this game as well on Monday. The Clippers game also has been postponed. Um, in Atlanta, they postponed that Rockets Hawks game because it's a snowstorm. Imagine it's a fucking snowstorm in Atlanta. In Atlanta, it gets cold, but snowstorms in Atlanta? What the fuck? Like, holy shit. Like, there was winter storms that there was a bunch of power outages, and then unfortunately, yeah, that they caused the Hawks game to be postponed. It's gonna be postponed. I bet there's a bunch of fucking flights being canceled, and man, even the weather in Atlanta right now with the fucking winter storms and the power outages, like it's bad in Atlanta and it's terrible in LA, man. It is bad, man. It is horrifying to watch, man. I give my condolences to those people who've passed, and of course the people who are still struggling, to the middle class, to the poor, to the rich people, to everybody, man. Because like fire does not fucking discriminate. Anyone's home can be destroyed, whether it's a fucking $35 million mansion or just a rented, condo. Like it doesn't matter, or some random apartment, in one of the poor neighborhoods, or like it just doesn't matter. What a fire can cause destruction, it is gets really intense and gets really ugly. Um, I want to do a little bit more research on it as well to see kind of why is this happening so much and why is it has been happening for already like the past week. Like it's already been continuously going on for like 4 or 5 days at this point, and it just looks like it's still getting worse and worse. I'm hoping this ends very very soon. Man, it is bad. It is bad. It is all that the news are talking about for good reason. Um, Man, there are obviously shelters there. If you're in that area, if you're living around in LA, there's a bunch of like evacuation centers and a bunch of like you know shelters that they can find around. Let me see where are, like some shelters at like LA shelters for the fire, like for the homeless people, imagine, like, and for animals as well. They have taken them to places that aren't around the areas where it's getting flooded, or not flooded, excuse me, that are getting burnt up. They're taking a bunch of animals in and out. Oh man, I can only like, man. And like children, like even just children just going outside, like they could feel the, and even when you're outside away from the, you can also feel the heat. That's the problem. You can feel the, you you go outside your home, it's burnt. Even if you see all of the whole wildfires just going on in the back, you can sense the heat coming in your direction, and you're still in danger. It's buying you time to evacuate, of course, but it's still very, very, it's a fucking difficult, like, it is a really, really shitty and unfortunate situation, man. This is why, like, man, for even the littlest things, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be grateful to be on this earth for what you have. And even if you are affected by this, man, life will get better. It will get better, and this will end at some point. Just better be soon enough, because this is getting way out of hand. And of course, I've heard that this is not something very, this is not something out of the ordinary. This happens often. It's a problem that is always happening. However, it looks like it's really gone to a bad point. It got to a peak. It's reaching points where it's, again, it's taking a very long process, a very long time to try to recuperate and to try to put an end to this. And like, I heard also, like, they can't even have like helicopters just pour water through from the air, because of the giant, the fires are not even just passing like the buildings, like it's entering the fucking atmosphere, it's in the air, it's smoke everywhere. So like, even just like just going outside and seeing it all the way in the background, even if it's like fucking 10 miles away from you and you could see the fires coming up, the smoke from that shit is coming into the air, you're inhaling it, you're slowly but surely feeling the side effects of it. It's bad. It is bad, man. It is fucking terrible, man. Um, Man, I just pray for those people there. Hopefully, things get better for sure, because it can't. I'm hoping it just cannot get worse than this. Absolutely not, man. Um, Evacuate. Look, your life is not worth it, man. You can lose your home and lose all of your personal belongings, and it's a brand new beginning. It's an unfortunate thing that people don't realize. Like, man, imagine your fucking house. You come from work and your house is just completely gone. You go out to watch a movie and you see your fucking house is on in flames. Everything that your entire purchase, everything that you've paid for this home, that you've spent for this home, to live in this home, it's all gone. And your personal belongings that you've had before you even were to that house, it could be your phone, it could be your credit card, it could be anything, your bed, your TV, anything that you value in your home being completely gone, and you just have to start from scratch. And it's just hard to just progress and just you move on. So it's not easy for anybody to just find another home and to stay in, and to be staying out. They can't stay out there in the streets, because like that's going to be any better. So it's a very tough situation over there in LA. And I would hate, I just want to talk about it for that. Not the best way to end the episode, but it is real life. I do like to escape certain topics around the world, because the world is fucked up. The world is beyond fucked up, and there's so much going on. Pray for the people in LA, man. Pray for the people in California. Even if there's other places outside of outside of the LA area being affected by this, man, prayers up for them. Hoping things get better for them. It looks horrific. I could not possibly imagine what they're going through. And man, the year 2025, like, again, we shouldn't even, this is not, it has nothing to do with the year. It just things just happen. Mother Earth has, this has always given this world so many tests, and we just have to put up a fight. We always got to put up a fight for sure, and do our best to try to control this. But it is a tough situation. So I pray for everybody there. Once again, man. Yeah, it just sucks. It's pretty unfortunate. I really don't know what else to say, man. But get help. Find somewhere to stay. Hopefully everybody's staying safe. Please don't be doing some stupid shit that'll put yourself or put others in danger as well. We're not trying to do that right now. This world is already crumbling in pieces, and God knows what really started the whole what really started all these wildfires, or why is it happening right now in a time where it should be just raining and in a little bit of in a cold front. It should be in a cold front, in a cold weather, rainy. Shit, here in Miami, it's chilly. It's chilly in the summer, in the winter, and obviously the sun is not beaming too much often throughout the day. Or at least you get the beaming sun, but then you get the blend of the wind. You get a little bit of a cold front, especially in the mornings and at night as well. Like, even here, it kind of scares me. Like, it's we're the most south city in the state. We're basically leaving the United States from. That's how south we are in the country. But things like that, aren't happening over here often, especially since we have to deal with fucking hurricane season, and hurricane season can get really fucking bad as well. Obviously, over there in California, it's wildfire season and all that, but man, so yet again, man, pray for those in need. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. Tomorrow. There's a couple other things I want to talk about. I didn't want to get too much into everything else because this will be like a 3 fucking hour episode. I actually want to go out for a walk, probably, maybe now, I guess. And unfortunately, there's people that want to do the same, and they can't even go out and take a walk. Like, imagine, like, there's fucking people in LA that can't even go outside their homes if they're not, completely burned out, to go out and just ride a bike or go to a park and play basketball with your friends. Like, there's people that are outside and they just see a huge wildfire just coming their way or just around. If it's visible enough, it concerns you. If you could see it from miles away, it still concerns you, even if you're have a far distance away from it. But still, man. But I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next episode. More uploads are coming, more reaction videos are coming, more album reactions are coming. I'm probably gonna do a couple more album reactions later tonight. I still haven't heard the Lil Baby album, but he just dropped the deluxe, so perfect timing. I'll get to listen to the album with the deluxe as well. There's football going on, so I'll probably watch a little bit of that and then figure out what I could do for my plans for the rest of the night. And then I have pretty much the script already done for tomorrow's episode, so we're good on that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in a bit. Take care and peace out, my friends.